Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? My name is Attorney Charles Zavala, your immigration lawyer, and our business is Zavala Texas Law. We are an immigration and criminal defense law firm located here in Houston, Texas, but we can help you with immigration cases, situations you're in, no matter where you are in the USA or wherever you are international. But normally what we do some videos talking about hot topics in immigration or things that are going on in the news, and I try to kind of break it down so that people can understand it in a more casual conversation. So if you want, check out all our past videos or like, subscribe. But more recently, I did a video regarding, and this is always my opinion, now that President-elect Trump is going to become president, what I think is going to happen to the immigration landscape. In our previous video, we actually had a lot of people who watched, and they actually asked a lot of questions. And we read the comments, believe it or not, and they send us messages, and they actually had other questions that I think would be really interesting. So today's video is going to be talking about essentially the border czar that they're calling Tom Homan, what he is going to do, and what he plans on doing. Because a lot of people right now are worrying. They're panicking. They don't know exactly what's going to happen. People are calling the office scared. So I'm going to give you only what I know. And remember, I haven't spoken to any of these people individually. I'm just doing it based off what I'm seeing in the news and what I'm reading online, right? So first off, let's start with what's going on, okay? So Trump won the presidential election, right? So that means middle of January, he is now going to become the president of the United States again. Whenever you become the president of the United States, there's many cabinet members you have to essentially install, right? These are going to be the people who are going to run those departments, because the president can't do it all, right? You can never, one person can't do all the jobs of a country. So what's happening is this: there's Department of Homeland Security, right? That's the big umbrella. And within that, there's other divisions, right? There's USCIS, which is United States Customs and Immigration Services. There's going to be ICE, which is Immigration Customs Enforcement. That's kind of like the police of immigration. So there's going to be a bunch of different divisions. So what lately a lot of people have been seeing on the news is there's this character called Tom Homan, who he's been in this industry a long time, right? He's definitely got the resume to do this. And so he was in charge of ICE, remember, which is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, but we'll call it ICE just because it's easier. That's the police branch of immigration. So for example, if somebody has an order of deportation, or if someone needs to get detained because of an infraction they did, it is ICE, the people who put the boots on the ground, who actually go get those people. So what's happening is this: a lot of people are saying, oh, Trump's planning to do this mass deportation, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Talk is cheap. We'll see what happens. But realistically, there are way too many undocumented people in this country to be able to do a mass deportation. You know what? Even Trump and Homan have also agreed upon this. You can't get everybody. There's just not enough ICE officers. There's not enough police officers. They're not going to do that. So what Homan's been saying is, look, there's going to be kind of, just like any time you have a business, you have to prioritize certain type of areas or certain type of avenues. So one thing that I've been seeing a lot in the news that we've gotten a lot of questions about is the following. So what Homan said is, first thing what we're going to do is we're going to go for people who have orders of removals. Okay? So that's kind of what this video is going to be about. What is an order of removal? So removal is the term used now instead of deportation, right? So it used to be an order of deportation, but they thought deportation sounded a little bit too harsh, so they call it removal, all right? So what's happening is this: when somebody comes into this country, whether they come in undocumented, which is also illegally, they also said illegally wasn't too PC, so now it's called undocumented. But if someone comes to this country undocumented, or came with a visa and then overstayed, and they are breaking the rules, the immigration rules, the USA government has the right to take you out, right? No different than if I go to France and I overstay my visa, or I enter France without permission. I would assume the French authorities have the right to say, Charles, we didn't give you permission to be here, you have to leave. But what's really great here in this country of the USA is we have something called due process. So that means, let's pretend, there you go, my daughter's little giraffe. Let's pretend Giraffe is in this country undocumented, right? They either came over without permission, or they came over with a visa and then overstayed. The US government can't just go to your house, grab you, and throw you back to your country. No, you have what's called due process, which means you go in front of an immigration judge. And when you go in front of an immigration judge, the judge is going to let you hear out your case. The judge is going to tell you what's happening, and they tell you what that is on what's called a notice to appear. We call it in the business an NTA, just because it's shorter. Notice to appear. But all it is, it's a piece of paper that says, hey, Mr. Giraffe, we are alleging or we are accusing you of these things. And normally they're very standard. They say you came into the USA on this date, you are from this country, you don't have permission to be here, right? And because of that, we are trying to remove you. So what we have to do as immigration lawyers is we have to say, okay, is there a way that we can keep this person here? Is there something under the law that this person qualifies for? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? But long story short, this is what's called due process. You have the right to go in front of a judge, and the judge will hear out your case. Let's fast forward. So let's pretend your case is done and it comes to the end. The judge will either give you a thumbs up, thumbs down. If they give you a thumbs up, you're good, right? They will either had approved you for some relief you applied for or something like that. But if they give you thumbs down, the judge will give you what's called an order of removal, which is the judge's official judgment saying, I, Judge Zavala, order you, Mr. Giraffe, removed back to your country. Okay? It's a piece of paper, they sign it, boom, that's it. Normally, Mr. Giraffe has about 30 days to appeal, if he wants to appeal. It's not necessary, but if he does not appeal, that order becomes final. So what happens is this. Once that order becomes final, you now have an order of removal against you. But to tell you the truth, and this is my experience as being an immigration lawyer for over 10 years, I have never had a client who has an order of removal where ICE goes to their house and says, look, you have an order of removal, we're here to take you. So I would assume, and I know this is right, if I haven't had it, lots of people have not had clients or people who have orders of removal come get picked up by ICE. So what that means is there are lots and lots and lots of people who have already been ordered removed from the judge, right? They had their chance at due process. They had their chance at court. The judge said you have to leave, and they haven't left. And because there's no one to enforce it, there's no one to go to their house, there's not a way that they can remove them. So that's what this big issue is right now going on with Tom Homan. He's saying, look, what's the point of having an immigration court system if even once we get to the end, the judge gives them an order of removal and they're still not leaving? He goes, that's a broken system. What the hell's the point of doing that? So what he's been saying is, look, that's going to be priority number one. Okay, he's going to go, we're going to go after people who already have orders of removal. That being said, we're going to go after people who have already gone in front of the judge and the judge said, you cannot stay here. Okay, so that's what it means whenever if you're listening to the news and you hear him say we're going after people who have orders of removal. Because a lot of people will call and say, oh, they're just going to come straight to your house if you even haven't had court yet. That's not true. You have the right to due process. Trust me, believe me, my clients, I have to go to court with them. They get things in the mail that say, hey, show up to court. But the truth is, once you have your time in court, if the judge orders you removed, you essentially lost your case. So what the new borders are, the ICE director is going to be doing, he's going to start enforcing that. He's going to say, look, we gave you your chance. It didn't work, so now we're sending you back. Because if we don't send you back, what does that show? That shows that we don't follow with what our punishments are. No different than, let's pretend Mr. Giraffe goes and gets arrested for a crime, not an immigration crime. Let's pretend he gets arrested for a DWI, driving while, and the judge says, I'm going to give you 30 days jail. But then they never arrest him and he never goes to jail, right? That's essentially what's happening here. They're ordered removed, but they're not leaving. So that's going to be number one of what Tom Homan's going to say they're going after. I understand this, right? I would understand why they would go after these people, and I think it is a good idea because they don't have enough manpower to go after everybody. There's just too many undocumented people in this country. There's a lot of people living underneath the radar. So instead of trying to find all these people, the easiest thing would be to find out who's already been here, who's already essentially lost their case, and let's go after them. because A, we would be enforcing the rules of the country, and two, it's also a deterrent. It lets other people know that say, look, if you come to this country, we will deport you at the end of this, right? If you lose your case, right? If you lose your case. So that's what I've been seeing a lot of questions about, people asking me, especially even family members asking, hey, what is an order of removal? So an order of removal is simply just the judge's final document. Immigration judge is final document saying, look, we gave you your due process, we gave you your shot. It wasn't enough to pass the merit or to pass merits. If you want, you can appeal it. That's fine. But I, as Judge Zavala, am saying give you an order of removal. Okay, so I hope that kind of helps clarify to some people what an order of removal is, because some people don't understand that versus is it criminal, is it immigration, is it when you get arrested? No. If you are here in this country and you're in front of an immigration judge, you have the right to do that. That's just called due process. After that, though, we have to listen to what the judge says. So as of now, that's been the main thing I've been hearing Tom Homan say. Obviously, they're also going to go after people who have violent history, criminal records, along those lines too. So here in our office, we do immigration and criminal because, there is an overlap in those sometimes. So it's not all crimes, back to it. They have a priority system, They have only a certain amount of resources. So if they go for people who are violent criminal offenders, yeah, they're probably going to go after them before they go after the guy who, has a traffic violation, right? You just have to think about it. They don't have enough, I don't want to say troops because that sounds bad. They don't have enough people, they don't have enough agents to get everybody, so they have to have a priority system, So this is what I think is going to happen based off what I'm seeing in the Tom Homan interviews. And, it kind of makes sense. If once you've already lost your case, it would make sense that the USA essentially says, look, we told you we'd deport you or remove you, we gave you your chance, and now they're going to do it. This could kind of create some problems with some countries, such as like Cuba, Venezuela, for example, because those countries are not accepting deportees. So for example, let's pretend little giraffe is from Venezuela and he's ordered removed. He had his chance, due process, he lost his case. The country of Venezuela is saying, whoa, don't send him here. We're not going to accept that plane to come here. So he's kind of stuck here in the USA, right? So that's kind of creating some problems. Same with Cuba. I'm sure there's some other countries out there that are similar. But that's ultimately what's going on. So I'm going to keep on listening to everything that's going on in the news. If you guys have questions, feel free to write in the comments. You can call us, you can schedule an appointment. My phone number is right there. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. There's people who try to pretend to be our business. They say imitation's the sincerest form of flattery, something like that. And I like it, but at the same time, I think it's wrong, because we do charge for our consultations. All consultations are via the phone, and they're with me personally. And I think it's wrong that people are trying to take other people's money pretending to be me or pretending to be people from our office. So just make sure all the appointments via phone are always going to be with me, and it's always going to be the phone number located there on your screen, okay? So if you have any questions or you have any issues regarding immigration, please feel free to call us. We've been doing this for about over 10 years. We got great reviews on Google, I think 4.9 out of 5. I'm very proud of that. We are located here in Houston, Texas, but don't worry about that. We are licensed to do immigration law in all 50 states, and even if you are abroad, we can potentially help you as well. So feel free to give us a call. My name is Charles Zavala. More than happy to help. Good luck, and remember, your immigration lawyer in case you ever need anything.